fans of the RPG Fanatic Show, and welcome to this, I guess, little news bulletin thing. As you can see, I went to South by Southwest not too long ago. I'd like to talk about that. But first, before we do that, this video is going to be about something a little bit different. Some of you guys might have heard that Michael Bay is making the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, right? Okay, so that's not a bad thing, because, you know, the first Transformers wasn't terrible. You know, it was actually a pretty decent film, I thought, of an interpretation of the Transformers brand as we know it in North America. So it could have been decent, you know, but Michael Bay's recently announced that he wants to do what is basically turtles in space. He wants to have a whole planet of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can't believe I have to say this. A planet of mutant Ninja Turtles? Okay, first off, they're called mutants. You know why they're called mutants? Because they're not natural. The whole premise is that there's these baby turtles that were in a sewer with this guy and this rat and the ooze, and you know the fucking story. You've watched the cartoons, you've seen the movies, you know what it is. There's been, like, it's not exactly the same as the original self-published novels that they did, but the cartoon, it was pretty faithful. It's what most of us know. It's what a lot of the films were based off of, the cartoon interpretation of it. And that's what Teenage Mutant Turtles basically is to my generation. So it's kind of silly to have like a whole planet of mutants, because that doesn't make any sense. They can't be a whole planet of mutants, because that would just be normal, alright? The whole thing is that they're not normal here. That's not making a lot of sense. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's what he's going to do. He's going to do Turtles in Space. I imagine it will look something like this, and that's just terrifying to me. That's just not what Teenage Mutant Turtles is. I mean, I can go on about this basic thing of a symbolism thing, really, where there's only this small group of brother turtles, and that's all there is. There's no other turtles. There's not going to be any more turtles. So they're pretty much stuck with each other. And in the plots of the comic books or the cartoons, the movies even, usually have some sort of discourse occur between the brothers that might, separate them. But they're really tied together by the fact that they're all they got. And I think that's really powerful, and that's really important. And if you go have a whole freaking planet of turtles, you pretty much lose that. It's kind of like in Spider-Man 3 that they did, where it was revealed that Peter Parker didn't actually catch the guy who killed his uncle. It was somebody else. Somebody else who had nothing to do with. It wasn't the guy that he didn't stop, right? It was the Sandman guy, who he'd never met before. He had no possible way of ever stopping. The whole premise of Spider-Man is that he fucked up. Is that he could have done something to save his uncle, but he didn't. And because he let this bad guy go, his uncle died. I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. That's the whole premise of Spider-Man. The third movie fucked that up completely, because he no longer had that. Oh, this guy that I let go, he actually didn't do jack shit to anybody. He didn't do anything. So I'm not responsible for my uncle's death, so I have no guilt over it. That guilt that drives me to be Spider-Man. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what happens if you make a whole fucking planet of turtles. The whole premise doesn't work anymore. Because it's not just them. I mean, but there's so many different ways. Maybe their whole planet could be blown up and they're all that's left, which would be dumb. And then Shredder is like, some sort of Darth Vader figure who's chasing them and trying to extinct them, make them into turtle soup or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the stupid plot they're going with. But it could also just be that they're crash land on Earth and they're trying to go back home, and at the end of the film, instead of being like E.T. and actually going back home, they decide to stay. Which could be another direction the plot goes, and that would be equally stupid. It's kind of like Alf, basically. I mean, it's just dumb. It's dumb, it's dumb, it's dumb. I don't want to see it. I don't want to freaking see it. Obviously, Michael Bay's doing this film, so he's going to be aiming it at my generation, like he did the Transformers films. So, if you're going to aim it at our generation, it matters to us. Like, you did this thing where you said, chill out, you know, it's going to be really cool. Hell no, it's not going to be cool. That's why we're pissed off. I mean, how are you going to tell us, the people that you're trying to get to watch your movie, to chill out when we tell you this is not what we want to fucking see? We want to see the actual, you know, turtles that we grew up with. That's what we want to see on the big screen, you know, maybe modernized a little bit. That'd be okay. But no, Turtles in Space, I don't want to fucking see that. Maybe you want to see that. If you do want to see it, then here's what you do. You don't sign this petition that me and 8-Bit Eric created. Basically to send a message to Michael Bay that we don't want to see this. That he needs to go back to the drawing board and figure out how he can do his interpretation of the franchise without bastardizing it into something it ain't. So, if you want to see Turtles in Space, don't sign our petition. But if you want to send a message to Michael Bay and say, I don't want to see this, sign our petition and tell other people to sign the petition. So, yeah, the next video I do after this will actually be about South by Southwest. So if you actually don't give a shit about any of this stuff, I apologize for having wasted your time. And I will see you in the next video. Again, link below, sign the petition if you don't want to see Turtles in Space. No, sign the petition if you don't want to see it, and don't sign it if you actually want to see Turtles in Space. Laters, guys. I fucked that up.